Hi, I'm Russ Falk, Chief Product Designer and Grill Master at Kalamazoo Outdoor Gourmet. We're in our outdoor kitchen at our production facility in Michigan, and we're going to be grilling up some beautiful tomahawk ribeyes today over a wood fire on our Argentinian-style Gaucho Grill. The first thing we need to do is build our fire. I've already stacked our wood for a 3-layer fire, and that's the perfect way to get this fire started because it's going to collapse on itself and give us a good bed of coals to cook over. We've got a very powerful burner system down underneath that wood, and we use that to get the fire going conveniently and easily. Now that we've got those burners going, the fire will be set in just about 5 minutes. We're going to have to wait a little longer than that for the fire to be ready to cook on, but we get it started very quickly. When we're cooking such gorgeous pieces of meat, one thing that I really like to do is lightly score the outside. The most flavor on a wonderful grilled steak comes from the Maillard reaction, that caramelization of the sugars and proteins when they react to the fire. And when we do this, when we score it like this, it increases the surface area and dramatically increases the amount of Maillard reaction you're going to get. And that results in even more flavor. So we're going about a 1/4 inch apart. We're being careful not to really slice in. We're going to go both directions. You can see that I lay my knife on its side to avoid cutting too deep into the steak. Now that we've scored these all over, we're going to coat them with olive oil because that helps further build up that crust, and season them with salt. But we're not going to stop there. I've got an amazing glaze for you that we're going to throw together to build up even more rich layers of flavor. So we'll get these seasoned quite generously on both sides. Now that these are seasoned, we're going to get that base going. I've already started it, but I want you to see the ingredients. We've got a little bit of butter, some olive oil, a bit of bourbon barrel maple syrup, and some 9-year-old Sherry Solera aged vinegar. I love that vinegar. And then for even more flavor, we've got a couple smashed cloves of garlic. And I've got this little herb brush that we've fashioned out of fresh thyme. We're going to use that for basting the steaks on the grill. We're going to get the essential oils out of the thyme as we do that to build up even more flavor. Right before putting the steaks on the grill, I want to insert our Steak Champ meat thermometer. These are an electronic thermometer that we actually sell, and we sell them because they're so reliable. It has never steered me wrong. It always tells me exactly when to remove the steak. You need a good thick steak to use these. I recommend at least a 3/4 inch thick steak, and we just insert it right down the middle. There's a little LED in there that flashes different colors to tell me how we're doing. Our fire is ready for cooking. We're just going to break it down and rearrange the logs a little bit here. It's going to be a good bed of embers for grilling our steaks over. And now that I've got that done, I want to put in a couple extra pieces of wood. I'm going to keep those off to the side, so I'm always ready to replenish my fire so we can cook for the duration. And now we are ready. I estimate these steaks are going to take about a half an hour to cook because they're so thick. We want them to have a nice gentle heat. And with this Argentinian style Gaucho grill, I'm able to raise and lower the height of those steaks above the fires. Once we've flipped our steaks for the first time, we're going to start using our glaze, and that's going to help build up even more of a beautiful brown crust on the outside. We want to get a good rich browning on both sides, and after we've done that, we're going to start flipping a lot more frequently. We're cooking over an oak fire today, and oak fire and beef just go together. It's a very subtle flavor, but it's very rich flavor. We're getting that perfume of smoke coming up past these steaks, and it's so much better than grilling a steak over any other type of fuel. It's great to do them over charcoal, it's great to do them over gas, but that extra flavor component we get over this wood fire is just to die for. We're going to bring this down to brown them a little more. I'm a big believer in flipping your steaks frequently, moving them often to build up that wonderful brown crust that you just don't get if you leave it in one place the whole time. You know, a lot of people talk about flipping a steak only once and leaving it alone, but I really think you're missing out on flavor. We're gonna bring it back up high to get that heat gentle again. It's time to pull our steaks off the grill. The Steak Champ is doing a quick double flash in green. And that's our signal to pull them off the grill. And we're gonna let them rest just a little bit. And then we're gonna dig in. These are just looking perfect. The double flashing on the Steak Champ thermometer tells you it's time to pull it off the grill. And what's really great is it stops flashing when your steak is done resting. If you're not using a Steak Champ thermometer, I recommend letting a steak this thick rest about 5 minutes. As a general rule, the thicker the steak, the heavier the steak, the longer you're gonna wanna let it rest. And the thinner it is, the less time you're gonna let it rest. Let's cut into these beauties and see how we have done. I love the look of this browned exterior. I mean, it's gonna be nice and tender and super flavorful. Should be absolutely amazing. Let's see. This is so good. We've got that complex flavor from the outside, that little bit of vinegar, the maple syrup, the garlic, the fresh thyme, and that smoke just coming through it all. And the meat is just perfect.